kindly come forward, that would be really nice. Up to you, freedom of choice. It would be nice to have some faces here at the front. Thank you. Perfect. Do we need a mic?
Can anyone hear us? Or a mic is necessary? All good? You should be all right. That big of a room.
Maybe the gentleman at the back. Can you hear us? Yeah, perfect. Yeah, so thank you for turning up. I know it's a very long, hard day. Tuesdays are not very easy. It's a shame not all of the 150 people expected to turn up turned up. They're the ones missing out on a great presentation and great customer testimonial that Target Integration have planned for us. So just to introduce, this is James Ellison. You want to say a few words?
Yeah, so I've been at Odoo for solid 3 years now, recruiting partners who will redistribute and implement the solution in their customer's company. And after they've been recruited, onboarded, maybe did a couple of projects with us, they go into Samuel's team. Yeah, let you introduce yourself.
Yeah, so I'm account manager for the UK and Ireland. I started 2 months ago. So it's been a very big learning curve, but it's a fantastic company. Every time I speak to customers and partners, it's something that is really successful, and I hope to transmit that today to you, both of us. Just to let you know, so our founder, this gentleman with the puppy on the right-hand side, Fabian, he started making the business management software when he was at university, and this is open source. So this is 2007, and that was the first 10 employees they hired, and it's not always been an easy experience, especially going up against some of the giants in the ERP world. If you actually look 12 years later, we've actually grown to over 700 employees. We hire on average a person a day, and we are present in 176 countries with 4 million users. So just some breakdown of numbers. We have offices all around the world, and next year we're expected to do a turnover of just under 100 million euros. This screen really shows me that Odoo is present in every corner, catering for every kind of company with different kinds of needs, and it just shows the versatility of our software. We're going to have a Q&A at the end, so if you have any questions, jot them down and then feel free to ask. We'll do our best to answer. Just to give you a quick outline, we're going to be showing you how Odoo works using some case studies. I'm going to be presenting the new features of V13, and then we're going to have our partners who very kindly sponsored the event doing a Q&A and also having a customer testimonial. Okay, so I'm going to hand over to James, who's going to do some of the use cases.
Thank you very much, Samuel. So, like Sam said, this will not be a training of some sort or a long, boring demonstration of the software. We really tried to revamp the actual format. I think a couple of people that I recognize from past roadshows will attest. We'll basically, let's say, identify 5 key sort of modern challenges, if you wish, of modern companies in 2018, and see how Odoo in standard can help these potential customers face those challenges. So, obviously, we realize that the challenges a company face in 2019 is not the same as the ones they faced 25, 30 years ago for many different reasons. But the number one challenge we all hear about is obviously centralization of data. Now, centralized data is basically Odoo's leitmotif. It's the reason why it exists. Okay, integration, all in all, every single information in one software. Okay, now, let's take a use case here. We've got, I'm sure you know all of the most of the softwares that are on this graph. Now, what it clearly shows is that although most companies will use a lot of different softwares, usually for free. Take a couple of those ones here. Obviously, Excel, everyone knows it. Salesforce, you can get for a very, very small amount. Monkey, MailChimp for mass mail marketing. Now, they're all cheap. They do their let's say, activities very well, their own niche market. MailChimp is awesome for email marketing, no worries, but they are not obviously integrated with one another. So there is double entry of data. It's quite heavy to use, okay? We enter the same data in two different softwares, but most importantly, you actually lose information or you simply don't have it at hand. Another, let's say, negative aspect of working like this, where every single line you see is basically a connector that has been developed and paid for by the customer. That connector needs to be every year revamped, migrated in basically the updates of all the different softwares. Okay, so it's a headache. It can work really well, but it's a huge headache on the actual operational side, on the training side, and to train a new worker on 6 or 7 different platforms, let's say, is a huge loss of time. But mainly here, what we'll see is that Odoo is an all-in-one integrated software. Okay, so a quick word on our market position. Now, this is not, let's say, done by an independent study or an independent cabinet. It's more of where we see ourselves. If you've been in contact with Odoo for a while, you will have heard us sometimes say, without being arrogant, that we don't really see an actual competitor on the market. Now, why do we say that? It's not because we say we're the best and unique. It's because we don't see for the moment a platform of software that will offer the actual user scope that Odoo offers with the ease of use, user-friendliness of these small, easy-to-use applications. Okay, everyone can create a website on Shopify very easily and their own online presence. Trello's extremely simple to use, but they've got their own vertical, let's say, application. Okay, they only do project management, they only do inventory management, mass mail marketing. What this graph will show is that obviously you've got the big boys, Oracle, SAP, Dynamics, Division, they are the big players, the monsters. But I'm sure some of you have used these programs before. It's extremely, I wouldn't say difficult, but it's horrible to use. Whether it's the layout, whether it be the actual logic, creating a customer can sometimes take ages, right? So here we're really about having a big business scope that will be fine-tuned by local partners, right, obviously. So I have a generic, let's say, general software that would fit any company in the world. Everyone needs to manage their sales, accounting, customers, while also having let's say, the best bits of these small, easy-to-use applications. Okay, so big business scope, very easy to use. A quick word on Odoo's customer-centricness, if that's a word. Now, traditional ERPs will, let's say, work around the accounting module. That's why we call them accounting-centric. Okay, you can use an inventory management system to have a better inventory valuation, but the end game is to have that integrated with your accounting. Okay, so you can use different types of packages, let's say, that will always be linked to accounting. That's why it's accounting-centric. Now at Odoo, we obviously have an accounting package, works really well, but we would call ourselves customer-centric. Why? Because it's, let's say, the vision of a modern company, okay, is to be acted on the customer side, whether it's visibility, whether it's customer service, whether it's help desk. But most importantly, it means that you can use Odoo's, we'll see through its modular application-based approach, you can use Odoo applications to manage all types of different flows without specifically having to use accounting. Obviously, if you use it, all your sales, invoicing, purchasing, everything will be integrated in your ledger reports, but you don't have to. It's just an application like any other one, okay? Now, what we'll quickly show here, like I said, first case here will be, so we'll quickly see here how, let's say, Odoo can help centralize the data. Okay. You exited my instance. Now, quick word here, this demo database is available to everyone. So if you want to have a quick test on Odoo Enterprise, see the different features, what can be done, you can have a login here. Okay, demo.odoo.com. Now, what we'll quickly see here is basically the contact database. Why? Because, like we said, it's customer-centric. But most importantly, this contact database here is, like we call it, the mother of all databases. Okay, why? Because it's going to be the one that will be connected to nearly every single application. Why is it customer-centric? And we'll see it later. First of all, here, we've got the landing page of any Odoo Enterprise instance. Okay, whether you're using 1 or 45 applications, this is what you'll see. It's modular-based. Okay, so like we said, it enables the actual companies using Odoo not to have to use everything in one go, not to use all applications, implement all their different business flows in one go. You can literally scale with the business. Okay, so you start small, You start with a bit of prospecting with CRM. You need to make a couple of quotes and invoice those. You start with 3 applications. Once you need to start recruiting people, then you can go into the HR processes. Once you've got your inventory management set up, then you can simply add the inventory application. So we're on a modular base, which spreads the cost in time. Okay, instead of having to buy basically everything from day one, you can scale with the business as it scales. And number 2, it will also enable what we call a quick start methodology. So we at Odoo will never push anyone to start with everything in one go. Why? Because we want them to be in production as quick as possible and be trained and then go on to the next step. Okay, it's something we try to discuss with partners. Some of them will follow it, some of them won't. Now, quick view here on our native applications. What about a little over 55, in the sense that these are the applications developed and managed by Odoo as the editor. Okay, these are the proprietary native applications we develop, and then partners, freelancers, Odoo enthusiasts can, through the App Store, add all different applications they created, enhancements, improvements they feel where something is lacking. Now, I was saying that we will go through the contact database. Why? Because it's really important to show that we are customer-centric. This view here is a view that you'll find in the products database, the inventory database also. It's a view, again, in the spirit of user-friendliness, let's say, that we'll keep using for different modules. Okay, so that the user is not, let's say, phased by the change of interface. We'll quickly filter and group. That's something I suggest you test, because basically all the information we'll see in a minute is available for filtering, grouping. If you want to create your own favorite filters based on location, based on industry, based on whether it's a customer, a vendor, whatever. So let's take a quick peek at a contact sheet. And the reason why we say it's customer-centric is because what you see here up there, these smart buttons, okay, will enable 2 things. Number 1 is to have a quick view of what has been done with that contact. When I say contact, it could be as a customer, a supplier, an employee, a person, or an actual company. Okay, so everyone and everything that is in relation with your company will be centralized here. Now, it enables 2 things. Obviously, manage your different contacts, that's quite clear, but to have a historic view of what's been done with the customer. Okay, so I can quickly see I've got 2 tasks linked to Azure Interior, 2 opportunities in my CRM, 1 sales. Now, if I click on that button, okay, we have that first level of integration where we can actually see the different quotation of the different sale orders issued to that customer. So if someone tells you, listen, I need my invoice from 3 months ago, absolutely right now, take the name or you filter and you go, okay, I want customers only, and I will have a look at the sales and the invoices based on the status, or I can already see what he owes me through a customer there. Okay, now, again, very quick peek, this database will be linked to all the applications that need, let's say, a link, whether it's CRM, whether it's automatic signing, whether it's management documents. Every single information where you need to set a customer or a partner or a supplier will be fetched through the contact database. Quick one also here, there's a very nice and nifty live chat option, which is extremely useful to chat between employees, between users. Something Sam and I do on a regular basis, and also a recap of the activities to be done, but we'll see that a bit later in the next demonstration. So we've now seen the contact, okay? Again, information in there can be used for filtering and grouping and producing your own, let's say, personal search criteria if needed. Next challenge that we identified here at Odoo is the following: optimization of work time. Now, why do we say that? Because that was a study done in 2017 here in the UK. Only about 40% of an employee's time is spent on actual main duties, put it this way. The rest will be done because it's repetitive, because they have to find information, because it's an admin task, because they have to move around the office to find someone to sign a piece of paper. It's basically not what they were hired to do. Okay. A couple of people saw this number and didn't really, let's say, believe it, to be honest. But once you dig in a little bit and you look at the report in more details, it is extremely accurate. Now, the secret is obviously integrating the processes. You'll hear that word a lot from us: integration, 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 because it is the main added value. It is the main value proposition of Odoo Enterprise. Now, again, you can question yourself: how long do you take to send a quote, to write that bill, to translate that maybe Excel or Word invoice into your accounting accounting software. All these little things will make you lose time. It's difficult as a business owner or as an actual employee to sort of sometimes see that concretely, but it really is time consuming. So what we'll do here is we'll see how quickly you can go from meeting someone new, speaking to that person, managing your contact with that person, and then basically selling him something, okay, which is the end game of business. I think most of the people here are familiar with what a CRM is. Anyone has no idea what a CRM is? Fantastic. So we're all familiar with the concept. Again, this view here, Kanban view, will be available in many different applications in the same logic of keeping the same interface, keeping the same view. Very, very intuitive, drag and drop, okay, quite, let's say, graphical design, but there's obviously different views available. A list view, which is much less graphic, but with much more details. Calendar view, with a pivot view for reporting. Again, all the information you'll find in the CRM, every single field, where information needs to be entered, where data needs to be entered, can be used to filter and to group for different opportunities, whether it be by salespeople, sales team, by, again, industry, type of product, okay? All the different views are available. Now, let's get back to the Kanban view, and let's say you're on an event. We all collect a lot of business cards, obviously, and I'm sure that at the end of the day or a week later, we can't remember half of what was said with these people, and because we simply spoke about it in the business card and kind of forgot about it. Now here, what you would do is you're at the event, okay? You'll create the opportunity on the fly. If need be, create the customer on the fly. I'll create myself. There you go. And if needed, put an expected revenue, which we won't do. Now, once you go into the actual opportunity in itself, there's the same logic as on the contact sheet. We've got the smart buttons here, integration with the calendar application and the sales app, and the different stages that were configured previously. Okay, you can change stage quite easily just by clicking. Now, again, we're not going to go into too many details about how to use a CRM. What I think is really, really important and powerful to show is twofold. Number one will obviously be the three buttons we have here. It's integrated with your email supply, your email, your inbox. So every single mail sent from the opportunity, okay, from this specific document, from this model, as we call it, the customer or the person that you're speaking to will receive an email, a normal looking email. When they answer, all their answers will be centralized down here. Okay, so this chatter, what we call the chatter, which is responsive if you have a larger screen, okay, just to show it's mobile responsive for tablets, for phones, for large PC screens. So this chatter is a centralization of information tool, basically. Okay, it's been extremely useful to us. Why? Because you can choose what information will be tracked. You can choose the changing of salesperson, an email address, of contact, expected revenue. Here we decided to track the change in different stages. It's there. If I now schedule an activity for myself, I'll make it at a call today. For a recap, first info call. I'll schedule it. Okay, then when I actually make my call, okay, it's integrated with voice over IP also, so you can directly call from the CRM. I write my feedback and mark it as done. Okay, now, two things, smart button and the chatter. Okay, this is where you schedule your activities, which are obviously present here. Okay, if I look at my activity for today, I see that I've got one here. Now, again, this chatter here, this tool where all the information is centralized and saved, is available in every single application. Okay, so this is where you interact with the customer, but also with other potential employees, simply by tagging them. Okay, at the only user on this database, but this is where you would basically, I'm ill, can you? Oh, you get the gist. So I've scheduled my activities. Okay, I have sent emails, and I'm now in the proposition stage because he wants a quotation. So we'll go directly from the CRM to the sales application. I'm going to create a quote which will be immediately linked to the customer that is linked to the opportunity that is present in the contact database. Okay, so you see the breadcrumb basically structure here. You can come back in time, create a new one. But again, integration, integration, integration. We have classic fields that we will find on most quotations. Obviously, who am I sending it to? set different invoice and delivery addresses. I can use quotation templates if I use the same sort of products redundantly, and I'll obviously set an expiration time now in a week. I'm going to add a product. We can add products, we can add services, that will generate projects and tasks. Here we'll keep it quite simple. We'll simply sell a deliverable product. Okay, so we'll go desk organizer. Okay, fantastic. Great. Now this little eye here will tell me watch out because I don't have them in stock. Okay, again, same principle of the chat here. I'm going to send this by email. There you go, because I haven't created it. I've got a template here with the attached PDF. I'll send it now. We'll see what we said before. My email will be here. Okay. Every single answer will be done here also. If you've got the e-commerce application, they can sign and pay online. So there's always that next level that is achievable. But if you don't want to use the application, you can still work in the normal classic way with the standard native application. So I've sent it. Hopefully, something else that is quite nifty and I forgot to show is the sections. I mean, it's simply to organize your quotes, but it makes it nice on the eye. Okay, and when you've got your custom layout via the web page that you send to sign and pay online, you'll have a much more graphical quotation to show to the customer. Now, obviously, they can sign and pay online. This will automate the process that I'm doing now. We're still in the case where someone will send me the PDF manually signed. I'm going to confirm my quote, which makes it go into a sale order. And I've got two things. One thing that has been created, it's a delivery order, which we'll see a bit later. Here, I'm directly going to create my invoice. Okay, we can go down payments or regular invoice. I'm going to invoice the whole amount. And there we go. Again, don't need to use the accounting application, but if you do, you've got automatic reconciliation possibilities where you import your bank statements. Odoo recognizes a payment has come through. There's an open invoice for that payment, and we'll match it automatically. So we created a contact on the fly, we negotiated with him, and we sold him. Okay, now, next challenge we identified is the following. It will be about logistics. Okay, so like I said, quite efficient, quite easy. Logistics can always be a nightmare, but in Odoo, we've got you covered for the basic goods. Whether you produce with raw materials, stock it for a while, and then send it. Whether you have to buy it every time, go through your inventory and then send it to the customer, or whether you drop ship and directly have your supplier send it to the customer, all routes are taken care of. Again, we can go into much more details, but these three basic routes are hard configured into Odoo, and it's with these routes that you'll play around to make custom routes. Now, again, we'll go back to, there it is. Go back to our landing page, okay? And again, either I can create automated reordering rules, saying I always want at least 5 of these laptops in my stock, maximum 50, so that when I go below that number 5, Odoo will automatically repurchase or reorder, pending human confirmation, the 45 piece missing to get to my maximum number. Okay, so we've got different rules here, but we'll make it simple and a bit manual here. I need to purchase something from my supplier, so what I'll do is obviously go into the purchase application. There it is. Same principle as before. We've got different views. Okay, a bit more graphic. This view, my personal favorite. You can group, filter, and play around with all the data that's in there. So I'll create a new one, and I'm going to select Azure. I'll get a couple of customizable desks. Unique price. I know the price has been agreed before. You can have tender blanket orders, obviously, when you've agreed a certain price based on the catalog. But again, same principle as before. I'm not going to send it by email. We'll directly confirm the order, which makes it go from a request for quotation directly to a purchase order. Again, first level of integration. What does it create? A reception order. Okay, so you can access it through this smart button, or you can access it through directly the inventory application that is here. I've got 4 to process. Okay, and one of them is this one. Source document PO13 is the one I just created. Again, we can play with barcodes, we can play with automated actions, okay, for the people on the actual factory or inventory floor. Here, we'll keep it simple. We're going to validate it by that one quantity. Demand 1, done is 1, which means that when I go back onto my purchase order, you'll see that, where is it? There it is. We'll see that the reception has been done already. Okay, it's done. If I go onto my actual product, and I have a look here for my desk. Where was it? There it is. I've got one. Okay, so this brings me to the product database. Now it looks a lot, again, like the contact database, same sort of shape, same sort of views possible. Okay, obviously products being products, you've got different types of information there. Let's have a quick look. Again, chatter down here, smart buttons up here that show you what you've got on hand, what you've got forecasted, different stock moves, if you're producing it with different bill of materials, calculate the costs based on that bill of materials, and basically input different variables. Okay, is it sellable on my e-commerce? Can I sell it through my point of sale? Is there a specific price list to that product based on customers, based on countries, based on specific dates? Okay, again, the different routes will be set here. You can configure those and create your own, which will appear at the same time here. Now, next challenge we ID'd is the digitalization of documents. Now, again, this is a very, let's say, trendy word. It's a trendy way of thinking that everything needs to be digitalized, which is true. We're seeing it in the office. We're not signing any contracts manually. It took way too much time. Doing it online now. All the customers, most of our customers will, and partners will sign stuff that needs to be signed online, whether it's a quote, an invoice, a contract. But what's important here is that basically we all know that archives rooms are a thing of the past. Okay, they are still there, and even when there is a big archive room, they are digitalizing it. There are quite a few very good DMS, document management system, softwares available. The only thing that they actually lack, again, is integration with the rest. If you use different softwares, it's one of the many pains. If you've got your own platform, whether it's Odoo or another, and a good old Google Drive or another type of DMS, you will be able to interact with that, let's say, DMS platform, but not to the level you'll be able to do here. Why? Because it's the only platform that will enable you to actually take concrete actions based on documents. And what I mean by that is the following. We go into our Documents app. And again, as you see, same search bar, same type of views, okay? Less graphic, much more graphic. But what we've got in front of us here is basically an overview of all the different work departments. Okay? These categories can be created by you with any type of criteria. Here, we decided, okay, we'll create one category per department. Okay, now, let's have a look at finance. Select this one, for example, as a quick preview. Up here, you'll be able to split that. If you've got many different invoices in one document, you can split them. Odoo will automatically recognize which ones need to be split. But quickly, what do we see? We see that here we've got specific actions that were created. Okay, now again, these ones can be created by yourself, okay, based on the applications that are installed. If you want to create signature templates, you'll have to have the electronic signature application installed. If you want to create the customer invoice based on a physical PDF, you'll need to have invoicing in there. But it does not restrict you from using it in a certain way. You just don't have that option. What we'll do here is we'll take a contract that needs to be signed. Okay. Request a signature and sign it. Now this directly brings us to the electronic signature module. Okay. We'll do it really quickly. We'll drag and drop here. There needs to be a name here, and we'll pass by signature field down here. Okay, I'll say this signature is for the customer, and I can put another one for myself. What I will do, again, send it by email. say this one, for example, pre-configured, okay? I can sign now myself, and I'll show you what it looks like on the customer side. Now again, they will every time tell me where I have to input the information, okay? We're not going to do the whole thing. Okay, the address, next. Initials can be chosen. I'll load mine. Okay, whatever, you get the gist. Now, once all is done, you'll be able to, again, sign, and the copy will be automatically sent to all parties. But again, the important thing here is not to show what it can do, is to show integration. Okay, so again, very easy. Create your actions based on the applications you've got and what you're going to do with Odoo. Based on that, you've got one document application where you can have, for example, email addresses for accounting@odoo.com. Okay, if you have to receive an invoice, to send it to accounting@odoo.com. It automatically creates a new document and pings the correct person that is in charge of that department, and then they can request actions or not. This will drastically, in our first-hand experience, drastically reduce admin time. We sign a lot of contracts on a daily basis, obviously, and until a year ago, it was still done by hand in 2 copies, scan it, send it, sign it, rescan it, resend it. Okay, it took a good 25 minutes to get something signed. If the CEO is not there, CFO is not there, there's no signature. He's in his car, in the train, on the plane, you can do it. Okay, so again, same principle. Don't lose time with things that can be basically automated and integrated with the rest of your business. Last but not least, we'll have a quick look at, oh yeah, I forgot about that one, sorry. This is quite, this is a nifty little configurator that we just created. You can go on our website, on the document application, and in the feature list, you'll have a bit of a calculator that will tell you, okay, based on how long you take to sign a contract, create an invoice, whatever, it will tell you you are losing X hours a week that you, obviously, as business owners, can translate into lots of money because you're paying someone to do something that they probably should not be doing. Now, last challenge, like I said, but not least, is adapting your workflow. Now, it's very easy to put a quote in there, but we do think this one actually is very, very good for the issue we're going to talk about now. We can't solve problems by using the same kind of thinking we used when we created them. Now, what does it mean in terms of Odoo? A lot, as we said before, Odoo, wouldn't call it a generic system, but it's been developed and thought of to be applicable to most companies around the world. Like we said, everyone needs to manage contacts, customers, suppliers, and make invoices, for example. But we're obviously, we know that certain sectors, industries need specific, whether it's on the visual side, the specific business flows to be integrated, and therefore specific processes to be developed. We are not against development at all, but we are trying to make it as easy as possible for the customer to use, okay, and affordable as possible. So we're trying to make customers understand that sometimes it's better to adapt the way you work through very small customizations rather than going into specific hard coding development that will get you 100% basically tailor-made solution. Okay, why? Because the costs will skyrocket. In most cases, it will require maintenance in time. If there's an update, it needs to be maintained in time every time. It simply takes more time to implement because developing new features takes a lot of time. And again, it will complicate things in time. If it's needed, it's needed, for sure. It does happen and will happen. What we're trying to do is to limit it as much as possible. How? By using Odoo Studio. Odoo Studio is the native Odoo application, standalone, which will basically enable, I would say, tech-savvy customers, but mostly partners and ourselves, to modify Odoo, create a brand new application if needed, automated actions, a new field, a new look, add a new field, without writing a single line of code. Okay, so we are not coders, we've got no technical background, but when you start at Odoo, you're asked to play around with Odoo Studio and create a small application. It's very easy, okay, it's extremely easy. Now, it gives you flexibility, and the most, I would say, biggest added value this gives, no code, you modify it as you wish, flexibility, but the version, every year Odoo releases a new version. So we just released version 12 about 6 weeks ago. Every customization that was done with Odoo Studio in V10, 11, 12, once we migrate it for the customer, you will find these custom fields, these custom processes in the new version. There is no need to write a separate script and basically maintain and migrate all the developments. Okay, now, again, small demo is always better than a lot of text. Now, again, if you toggle Studio from the landing page, it will tell you you can create a new application, okay, brand new app for property rental management, for football club management, for example. We have partners who can do that, who have been developing a specific application for a niche market and only doing implementations in that sector through Odoo Studio. Now, if we go, for example, into our sales application, we'll take up a quotation, the one I just did, for example, and we'll toggle Studio from here. It will enable us through a very easy drag and drop system to completely customize what we've got in front of us. Now, this is the back end. This is not what the customer will see. Okay, we decided to split that modification. We can modify what you'll send out to the customer on the PDF, but we thought, okay, there are some information, some fields that maybe the selling party needs to input in a quotation in their backend that doesn't necessarily, the customer doesn't need to see. Okay, so we'll add a very easy, for example, what can we add here? We'll add a tag field. Okay, this is just to show that you drag and drop an item, and it will go and look for all the information related to the bill of material of that product. Okay, in this case, there are none, but that's the way it works. So here, you close it, and you've got it. Another great, let's say, thing about Odoo Studio is that this field now can be used for filtering, for grouping, for reporting. Okay, so if you have specific KPIs, specific data that you need for your business that you cannot find in Odoo Native, simply drag and drop them, configure them, and you'll be able to use them as if they were native standard Odoo fields. Now, let's go on to the actual invoice and see how we can customize the actual reports. Okay, so I've got my invoice here. It's not paid yet. I'll toggle Studio. I can modify the invoice if I want, but I can also go into reports. I can choose which one to modify. I'll modify the final invoice. So when the actual payment is matched, we'll send out the final invoice to the customer. And I want, for example, let's go a column. Okay, I'll put a column up here. I'm going to rename those columns. Okay. This just to show that once it's done, you close it. If I now want to print my PDF, do it this way. In all logic, our columns will be there. So again, very easy, very simple, basic customization. But and it's a request we've had from a lot of partners and customers is to say, I'm really willing to use a lot of software to issue invoices, but I don't want my customers to be troubled. I want them to not see any difference, basically. This is where you would go to. Before, you would have to do actual custom development, maybe CSS. It would take quite a bit of time to migrate, etc. Here, it's done. Next version, if you want to migrate, your invoices will look the same. Again, we really don't want to let's say, give the impression that development is taboo and it's something we frown upon. Not at all. We just try to make customers understand. If a customer has already implemented an ERP, then it's something they'll usually be quite familiar with. They know that having something 100% tailor-made will cost much more, will take much longer to do. Okay, but again, we always try and challenge the customer and say, is it 100% necessary? If it is, then we do it, or a partner does it. If not, we can find workarounds, maybe add another field with Odoo Studio, but at least you don't pay these recurrent maintenance fees of therapies. I hope this was all right for you. If you have any questions, again, we can speak about it later on. I'll leave Sam here to present the new features of Odoo V13.
Thanks, James. A lot of information. Everyone good?
I know I speak quite fast, so again, if you need a personalized demonstration afterwards, come and hit us up and we'll have a look.
Okay, so yeah, we recently released a new version, V13, that came out in October. And I think it's part of Odoo's drive is every year to try and release a new version that has improvements on speed, capacity, and also applications. We listen to feedback from customers, things that we find are a common issue, and we try to fit them into the enterprise model for future versions. So V13 is actually on average 4.5 times quicker than V12. So again, loading data, inputting information is a lot quicker. So we have a new field services app. I'm going to quickly go through it because I would really like Target Integration and customer testimony to speak. So yeah, so if I go to, again, the main dashboard and I go to my field service app. So basically field services, if you have a team doing maintenance, work installations, you can actually, they can actually have a tool where they can keep a track of the maintenance they do signing of documents on the spot. It's also device optimized, so they can actually use the application on the spot. They can create new quotations, and generally speaking, it works better for the customer as well. So it's all in one place. So this is, again, just a Kanban view. You can actually have an overview of the dates. You can group by and filter, as James was explaining. You can really tailor it to what is best for you and your business. Also, we have a map view. So I'm actually going to change this bit here just to filter for today's tasks. And for some reason, it's in San Francisco. Wish I was there. For example, let's take number 2. You can actually, it's integrated with Google Maps, so you can navigate to, and yeah, well, it's not going to be a very cheap maintenance. Again, so we also can have a look on the calendar view, so you can toggle it by week, by month, so it's really easy to keep a track of for your employees. The list view, again, if you want all the information, start date, and we also have a Gantt chart. Okay, so then again, you can group by different information here. So just to give an example of creating a new task. So we're going to use desk repair. Sorry, this is a French keyboard. Desk repair, and we're going to say the customer is James. Okay, he's not in this one. As yeah, okay. So we can actually schedule the date. So it's going to be for today. And again, so on the top here, you see the integrations here. So we have a worksheet, and this is, again, device optimized. This is what the maintenance person would show to the customer and actually get a signature from them. And also they can add new products, okay? So let's just, and again, they have a timer as well. So once they go into to do the maintenance, they can actually clock the hours that they do. It's integrated with your timesheets app, so you can keep a track of who does what, when, and for how long. So you start it, again, tracking the time, and then you can go on the worksheet, and you can actually have some information. So it's a desk repair. The manufacturer is Deco Addict, so you have manufacturers that produce your products. The model is customizable desk, serial number, and it's the first installation. Install for customer. And then once it's completed, I hereby certify that this device meets, and then the customer can actually do a signature on the spot. Likewise, if you go back to the desk repair, you can actually add products. So if you're upselling on the spot, you can actually add, for example, I want to add a conference chair. I'm going to add 2. And that is added to the task. Okay, so that is pretty much the field service app. So again, really good way for maintenance employees or installation to go and keep a track of everything and give a good customer experience. Then we have the social marketing app. So this is an app that we've created for companies to manage all their social media posts. So if you go on the social marketing app, here you can keep a track of everything that's happening with relation to your social media campaigns. So this is the feed, and you can have a look at the Facebook posts, Twitters. For example, again, you can filter and group by. I would like to add a stream. So for example, on Twitter, I would like to follow keywords. So for example, furniture, Dublin. Sorry, interior design. I tried that one earlier, there's nothing there. Interior design, Dublin, and save, and very quickly, you can actually see any information related to keywords that you can actually interact with, your marketing team can interact with. Again, you have a post, you can actually comment and like and message. Also, you can create a post. So you can actually decide on what channels to post on. So you can actually do push notifications, Twitter and Facebook. You can write your message and a preview would appear on the side. So we have a new collection. And then if you scroll down, you can attach any images. What's actually quite nice about this one is the schedule later functionality. So you can actually decide when the email sent, when the notification is sent. Because a lot of people, you know, they would say first thing in the morning at 11 a.m. I would like for this to be advertised on our channel. You can write it the day before and schedule it, so it's all automated and employees forget things. It won't be too much of an issue. So that's how the preview would look. Yeah, you can test the notification as well. And then finally, we have the campaign. So you can actually create campaigns, and creating the campaigns can actually allow you to monitor the engagement, so how many likes, what the revenue is. So from the opportunity that you get, you can actually see how much money is being created by this campaign, any quotations sent, and the number of clicks. You can really keep a track of how your social campaigns, and that really allows for that discussion about numbers. Are campaigns working? Are they not? So that's a very basic outlook of our social marketing app. And then we have the rental application, which is also new, and that's popular demand. A lot of people do generate these custom applications themselves, so we decided to integrate it with our own within version 13. So again, the rental app is really good. For example, Spencer Hotel would like to rent out projectors and meeting rooms, printers. You can create your products there. In the rental dashboard, you can have a look what's going on. You can again filter by view, calendar, when things are rented out. Okay. And you can quickly create a new order. So the customer would be Azure. Okay, yeah, and they would like to get the meeting room. So we go down here, search for more. Again, this brings up the whole list of products, again, integrated with your inventory, so you can, when sending quotations, everything is one place. And we would like to do the meeting. And it instantly pops up, and we would like to do it today. So yeah, 12th and 13th, one day. And then when we save, again, customer preview, and we're going to confirm it. This will be added again to the schedule. Okay, so there we are, the meeting room for Azure Interior. You can see all the information. So that's pretty much it with the new features. We also have a learning application. I won't go into too much depth in that one, but basically it's a tool it's an app that you can do to create quizzes online for your customers. So for example, you want to teach them about how to use something, you can have an e-learning platform where you can share that information. In fact, why do I not? I'll show you. Okay, so have a look. E-learning, just to show you, so you have all these, so you can create a course. When you go on a course, you can actually have a look at the content. So what's the content of the actual course, who's finished it, who's attending the course. And again, the breadcrumbs allow you to navigate really easily back and forth. Any reviews of your course. So if you're doing any e-learning as well, that's available for you. Okay, so that's pretty much all the new features. I do recommend for you to go online and look at the webinars and information. We have a lot of content online. You can delve into great depth. if you just type Odoo into YouTube, you go on the Odoo page, webinar, you have explanations about any app. Just to bear in mind, this was a very brief presentation. We could go on for hours explaining the intricacies of Odoo. Basically, it's a tip of the iceberg what we showed you. The possibilities are endless, the developments are there, studios there for you to do customizations, and you have an app for any business scope, and it's fully integrated, which is a key word that myself and James stress. Yeah, so just very briefly, we have community and enterprise versions. So the community is what it all started off, which is open source, so anyone can modify it and use it. In the last few years, since version 9, we've actually added an enterprise version, which we maintain. We do bug fixes for free. We migrated to the newer versions for free, the standard codes, and we allow different types of hosting. So on ODSH, on-premise, and SaaS. The main thing is the speed of Odoo Enterprise and the functionalities, much greater functionalities with Odoo Enterprise. Okay, so enough of us. I would like to bring on stage Target Integration, who have a presentation. Just to give you a bit of background about Target Integration, they are UK and Ireland partners as well in India. Lot of experience implementing projects, and they're going to talk about how they've implemented projects, and then we're going to hear from Rosemarie from Instant Upright, who will speak about her experience in Odoo and with Target Integration. Yeah.
Is the one?
Yeah, is this the one? Okay, yeah. So would you like a mic or? Mic or? Would you like to present? Yeah. We'll switch on.
Hi guys, I'm Kapil. I'm from Target Integration and Prudhvi, my colleague. Yeah, we are here to.
Consultants from Target Integration.
So we are here to just describe in the brief the implementation technologies we use for the Odoo. So who we are, Target Integration. We were established in 2008 with a mission that every business should be able to leverage the full power of their business insight. We have our offices in Ireland. The headquarters is in the City West. We are located, and we are in UK, Birmingham. In India, we have 3 offices in Delhi, Mumbai, and Bangalore, and we recently opened a new office in the States in San Francisco. Our development center is in Greece. So the team, on the top left corner, you'll find Rohit. There is the CEO of the team, and followed by Michael. Here we have Prudhvi next to us, Dinesh is there, Joy is here, Cynthia is here, and Steven is here. So yeah, we are the proud partners of Odoo in UK and Ireland. So what we do, we basically implement and integrate Odoo for the customers. We basically follows the 2 steps of implementation. Either it's on the Odoo cloud or it's on the on-premises. So 2 implementation that we follow is standard implementation. It's for the medium and large scale industries. And another one is a quick start. It's for the small scale industry. So we're gonna discuss in details about the implementation technologies.
Thanks. How we are going to implement this? We have these 2 implementation strategies, standard and quick start. Standard is for medium to large organizations, and quick start is for small organizations. So here are the phases, like stages in implementation process. The discovery phase, which is used to understand the purpose, value proposition, and what are the expectations of the project. It is to learn about what you have and what you want and what you need. And then the gap analysis is to assess the difference in performance between the information systems, if the business requirements are met or not, and if not, what steps can we take to meet those business requirements. Next is proof of concept, and which is to have an idea of the final solution. And then the implementation plan, which is a phased approach, that is the cutover and adoption of new system will happen in phases. And finally, the go live will be at the end of each phase. Next is the quick start implementation. This is for small businesses who have champion as an internal resource. So we provide who can implement by themselves. So we provide training and give access to the training materials as well as and here the implementation is in iterations, and we also provide a half-day visit or call by our Odoo consultants every week or twice a week.
So in short, we do the implementation module per module. If you want to implement the finance first or the CRM first, so first the training is provided on that, then the go live is done on the same phase, and for the next methodology.
Yes, so you can find our case studies, and we have clients from various sectors, from medical, distribution, manufacturing. And why target integration is because our primary goal is to automate business using technology, and we provide by implementing practical approach to technology. And also we have innovative and vendor agnostic solutions, and we have experience of working in multiple sectors. You can find our success stories in our website, Target Integration website. That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, guys. We were going to have a partner panel discussion, but I'm conscious of time, and we have Rosemarie from Instant Upright, who is going to have a discussion with the team at Target Integration. Rosemarie uses Odoo at her company. She's going to describe what she does, how she's worked at Target Integration, and how she works with Odoo. It will give a really good insight into if you are a potential customer of Odoo, how that could look in your business. Just while they're getting mic'd up, does anyone have any questions about what's been said so far? Yes.
Sorry, I saw on your social that you had Facebook and Twitter. Are they also integrated with Instagram and LinkedIn?
So it's integrated with LinkedIn. With Instagram, I'm not too sure about that one yet. I think it is possible.
We're working on it, I think.
Yeah, so the integration is being worked on. But the main business channels, so Twitter and LinkedIn and Facebook, definitely there. With Instagram will follow shortly. Yeah.
Any idea on the timeline of that?
Difficult to say, honestly. I know they wanted to roll it out now. Same principle as a bit as the way we work, in the sense that we prefer to roll it out and then add the missing pieces, but so it's there. We get feedback from it already now, because there might be things that we have to change. We can have a chat. I'll talk to you afterwards. It might be, because we have, just so everyone knows, odoo.com/apps is an app store, like Google Play or whatever, Apple Store, whatever, where anyone can upload their application, put it on for free, sell it or not for each version. So there might be someone who already developed the Instagram connection to it this way, whatever the option.
But it's definitely in the pipeline.
Yeah,
So it's a priority as well. It's one of the main social media channels. So yeah. You guys are ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
So there'll be a Q&A afterwards.
Yeah.
Cynthia's going to ask the questions.
Okay. Would you guys like a mic? Yeah. Would you like a? Yeah. Okay.
Hi everyone, my name is Cynthia and I work for Target Integration. I'm the sales coordinator there along with Kapil. And today we have Rosemarie, who's from Instant Upright, who's just going to answer a couple questions that I'm going to ask her. So
I'm currently working as a project manager for the Odoo Implementation company I currently work with. Okay.
All right, Rosemarie, so just tell us a little bit about yourself and Instant Upright.
Instant Upright is a global design manufacturing provider of mobile aluminium towers, as well as specialist access solutions. For instance, we implemented or designed and built a tower in the Antarctic for scientists. We did one similar in the Amazon. And in Brunei, we did ladders and towers that were installed in the rainforest, high up, so that again, scientists, environmentalists could use, and maybe a few very brave tourists if they wanted to go up that height to have a look as well. We are currently based in City West. We moved into our new facilities there earlier this year. We have a factory the size of 120,000 square feet. We have also a manufacturing facility in China that works closely with us. And last year we opened a distribution center in the Netherlands as well. We currently have 55 people working in the Dublin branch and 25 in China. Okay, I suppose a brief synopsis of the company overall.
Perfect, that's perfect. Yeah, and we want to know, why did Instant Upright decide to now go with the new ERP system?
I suppose, like a lot of companies, we had an ERP system in place, but it was old, and it's kind of like you keep on, we'll update it, but then we had a new senior operations director came on board, and when he looked at it, he said, no, this is not going to work. So he put a proposal to the board, and they decided, yes, let's put in a new ERP system. So we did some research, and we decided to go with Odoo.
That leads me to my next question.
Okay, sorry.
So why did you decide to go with over, the rest
Other
of
companies,
Yeah.
I suppose a lot of research went into it, and I think what we liked about it was the fact that the apps, it's very user friendly. Especially I think when we started training staff, they looked at it and when we showed them the dashboard, they all went, oh, apps, it's just like my phone. So automatically they just thought, great, it makes it a lot easier, because I think when staff have been using the same computer system for so long, there's a lot of anxiety, and people get uptight, and then they're like, oh, a new computer system, I don't think I'm going to be able to use it. And we have staff that have been with the company quite a long time, and but I think once they've got to start to use it and shown how to use it, they've been quite enthusiastic about it. So it suited our needs, and I think the fact that we can customize the apps to suit our company as we grow, that really appealed to us as well.
Now, why did you decide to choose Target Integration to implement Odoo?
Again, we looked around at, we actually contacted Target Integration's UK office and thought they would come over and help with the implementation. But then they said, well, we have a Dublin office actually, and they're in City West, and they're literally 5 minutes away from our premises. So we said, great. So we invited Rohit, who's the owner of the company, to come around with a few members of his team. They did a few presentations and meetings, and the board and senior management were very impressed and made a decision to go with them for the implementation. So, and it's been a very positive experience, I can say.
I'm just going to ask you, what benefits have you seen compared to your old system, as opposed to Odoo now?
Okay, I suppose probably the sharing and integration of information. It's more readily available. Everything is visible on the screen if you need to look at anything up. Staff are more aware of this as well, and they're more sharing information. So it's been fairly positive around.
And now, what advice would you give to other companies looking to implement Odoo?
I would say definitely look into it. It's been a very positive experience for our company, and I must say working with Target Integration has been fantastic and very positive. I know a lot of companies, when they make a decision to look at different packages, they will do a lot of research. What I will say is check out Odoo and have a look at it and see if it suits you or can suit your requirements. I think we did like the fact that you could customize it and it can grow with you as your business develops and grows as well, which is great.
And then what features do you see with Odoo and Target Integration? Do you see yourself implementing more apps?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, at the moment, we've implemented the sales app, and we are currently at the moment implementing expenses and also the help desk as well. And I see as the business grows that we'll continue to work with Target Integration to expand on and integrate more apps into the business as well. So that's the plan for now.
Thanks, Rosemarie.
Thank you very much.
Today, and thank you everyone for listening.
Thank you.
Rosemary, do you mind, because such a unique visitor, Does anyone have any questions to Rosemary? Maybe one or two?
I thought I was going to get away.
If not, we can do a Q&A about Odoo.
What has been your best experience and your worst experience utilizing this?
The best experience has working with the consultants. Even like we ring up and we maybe gone through a training and then there's something that we've forgotten or whatever, and then they're readily available on the phone, or they'll come over because they're located quite near to us. They've been very, very helpful. And I think a lot of people, if they're not very technical, they're kind of a bit like technical people will talk down to you if you're a layperson. And I can honestly say that has not happened. But I would be the first to say I'm not a techie person. So, yeah. The negative is, I suppose, some staff are still, because if they have worked with the company a long time, some people have not got totally on board yet. But that's a cultural change and that happens. So it's something you just have to work with over time. Oh, sorry. How would you say? Companies
in your company.
in our company, like most people were very positive, enthusiastic about it and whatever, but then there will always be one or two people who won't be, and that they would make a lot of negative even in the training. It's just the way it is. They've been there a long time. Oh, the system is fine. There's nothing wrong with it. We're quite happy with it. But the fact that we're not getting great information from it, we can't do a lot of reporting. You know, finance are finding it very difficult to use. So that's why with the new system, I foresee that it's going to make a huge amount of change for us.
Can I interject on that point?
Sorry, I wanted to.
Yeah. So just change management is such a big thing of ERP systems and business apps, and there's always going to be a resistance because it's completely changing the way that you work and you think. And what we notice, and it's probably happens at Instant Upright as well, is the satisfaction when you are all on board saying, yes, we're going to use this tool, to the actual implementation of the tool, the satisfaction drops because all of a sudden you are presented with this tool that you have to implement, that everyone has to work together. After that, if it's a good app, and from what I hear, Odoo is working really well for you,
very good.
then the the employee satisfaction goes up again. It's a dip that is a natural occurrence of changing systems.
And then how long would you say productivity of 100?
So I can actually, just to keep a bit more general, any questions I can actually give you my email. I'll send you any information. One last question for
Are you manufacturing?
We are indeed, yes.
And are you using the manufacturing app?
No, but we plan to in the new year, January. So we're currently working on that at the moment. Actually, we had a training session today. Okay. Sorry.
Have you already covered all the functionality or modules on the previous system?
No, not yet. No.
So this is what.
Yeah. So it's, I suppose it's like anything. We didn't want to just go in and say, we're turning off the old system. Here's the new one. Let's go with it. So we're doing it app by app.
So currently there are some people working with the old system.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. We're working parallel, unfortunately. Until, again, to get people, and it's also giving us time to tweak if we want to make any changes as well, which is great. So when we do, at the end of this year, we'll be switching off the old system, and then we'll be turning on the new system totally. So they won't have to work with it. This is kind of like the honeymoon stage. We're just getting everyone really happy with it, and then we'll go, that's it, finished, out you go. So that's the plan at the moment.
I'll add a very quick one because just as a customer implication, extremely important. That also is in the sense that, okay, that's my train of thought. Yes, sorry. What we call big bang implementations, where you basically say, okay, now that we've been developing or training everyone for 6 months, everyone's ready to go. Let's start it. You know, like an IPO, you turn off the old one, switch the new one on. You'll always see stuff to enhance, to improve in production when they're actually using it. You can theorize as much as you want. So that's why mainly Odoo will never push for a huge, big project implementation. Some customers, some of our big customers of over plus 2,000-3,000 users will say, listen, we work in a certain way, so you work in the way we work. Okay, fair enough. They take the risk. they know what to do. If we have to advise, it will mostly be, and same as Target, based on the project, always be department or flow per flow. Once it's done, everyone validates it, green light, okay, then that goes into production. So when you actually turn it off, again, it's basically seamless, which is very important.
Target Integration have a lot of experience, so they will advise you. Now, if you turn around and say, well, we want to do it this way, they will say fine, but they will just point out the pluses and the pros and cons. So again, then it's up to you to make a decision what you want to do. I enjoyed the fact that they left it up to us to make a decision. They presented to us, and then we decided what we wanted. All right. Okay. Thank you very much.
Sorry to put you on the spot there.
That's okay.
Any final questions about Odoo for myself and James? James and myself. James and I.
If anyone is interested in becoming an Odoo partner, to basically become Target, I'll be the person to speak to for basic information or for anything else.
Feel free to, there's some snacks.
Yeah, we've got snacks and drinks for 70 people, so more for us. There's a couple there that needs to be finished, so let's do it.
Thank you very
Thank you very much for attending.
Yeah, if anyone has any questions, I can try and address some of those whilst having a beer.
Thank you very much.